right. Well, as people get seated, we'll introduce our next speaker. From Equinox Gold Corp, Greg Smith is the president and CEO.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Doug, and thanks, everyone, for attending this presentation on Equinox Gold. My name is Greg Smith. I'm the president and more recently the CEO of the company. And as I move through this presentation, I will be making some forward-looking statements. You can find this detail in the slide deck on our website or on the conference website. So we've been working hard at Equinox over the last few years to build the premier America's gold producer. And today we have 6 operating mines from the United States, Mexico, and into Brazil. We're commissioning our 7th mine in Brazil, and we have we're 1 year into our construction of our Greenstone joint venture project in Canada. Between these assets, we have over 16 million ounces in reserves and 30 million ounces in resources. This year, we're going to produce about 580,000 ounces of gold. We've got $390 million of liquidity, and we've got a path toward 1 million ounces of gold production at Equinox. I'm really excited today to talk about our Greenstone project. This is our newest development project at Equinox. It's a joint venture between us and Orion Mine Finance. We hold 60% of the project. Orion holds 40% of the project. The reason we love this project, 5.5 million ounces in reserves. This mine will be one of the highest grade open pit gold mines in Canada. 14 years mine life, 400,000 ounces of gold production per year. Big underground upside potential in the deposit with another 4.5 million ounces in inferred and indicated resources. We started this construction project in October last year, and we're about 40 to 50% complete on the project so far. Before we began this project, we had finished 85% of the detailed commissioning, or detailed engineering, sorry. We had done multiple external and internal reviews on construction readiness, on our budget, our schedule, etc. We updated our budget to take into account inflation to $1.253 million from the feasibility study, and we updated our schedule to take into account any kind of supply chain constraints. So it's been about a year, as I said. We took analysts, shareholders, and some other stakeholders to the project last week. Very impressive project. The project's going very well. We're focused right now on building enclosures. This winter, we'll start the detailed interior work, and then into next summer, get into full-scale mining toward hot commissioning for first gold pour in the first half of 2024. So you can see here an overview of the site. The project today, I'm very pleased to say, is on time. It's on budget. It's making excellent progress, and we're really looking forward to bringing this mine into production, as I said, in the first half of 2024. So moving much further south to Brazil, we have our Santa Luz mine. This is our newest mine that we're bringing into production. We poured first gold in March and finished construction at that time, on time and on budget. We've been commissioning since then. It's taking a little bit longer than we anticipated, but as of today, we've got the plant up to full capacity. The recoveries are achieving 75% and toward our target of 84%. And I hope and expect that by the end of this month, we'll be able to declare commercial production at Santa Luz. The mine this year will do about 40 to 50,000 ounces of gold, and then thereafter 100,000 ounces per year. So we have 6 operating mines in our portfolio, obviously with Santa Luz on the way as our 7th. Our business in the U.S. includes our Mesquite mine and our Castle Mountain mine. Castle Mountain is one of our most attractive expansion projects in the portfolio. We've submitted permits earlier this year that would take production from Castle Mountain from 30 to 40,000 ounces, or sorry, 25 to 35,000 ounces, all the way to 200,000 ounces of gold per year. In Mexico, we have our Los Filos mine. This is a big deposit. It's a mine where we're working to, and hope in the next few months, to issue a technical report that would have an expansion of the project through the addition of a CIL plant, 10,000 ton per day CIL plant. Today it's operating as a open pit and underground heap leach operation. We have, if you follow the company, we have had some social issues at Los Filos over the last couple of years. We're working hard to address those, to establish a situation there where we can ensure stable long-term operations at Los Filos. And then our Brazilian business includes 3 operating mines, plus now Santa Luz coming online. Our largest mine in Brazil is our Aurizona Gold project. Last year we announced a pre-feasibility study for the addition of an underground mine at Aurizona, which would increase the production from 130 to 140,000 ounces to upwards of 160,000 ounces of gold per year. Collectively, our Brazilian business will produce around 300,000 ounces of gold per year. So this slide really highlights why I think Equinox Gold is really good value right now. Our market cap today is about $1.5 billion Canadian. That's about half of what it was a year ago. Yet when you look at us compared to our peer group, we have the highest growth profile. With our expansion projects, you can see we've got about 600,000 ounces of incremental growth coming over the next several years as we execute on these projects. At the same time, we have one of the largest resource and reserve bases of our peer group, but we're trading at the very low end of the multiple range. You know, we're a development-heavy operator, so I would hope and expect as we bring Santa Luz online, as we advance Greenstone into operations, advance on some of our other expansion projects, we'll move up that value curve toward that higher price to NAV multiple, cash flow multiple. We're very well funded to deliver on this growth. We're sitting on today around $200 million of cash. We've got about $230 million available under our revolving line of credit. We have an accordion feature on that line of credit for an additional $100 million. Excuse me. We have a $250 million equity portfolio as well, and we have cash flow from operating our existing mines. So very well funded to advance the development of our growth projects. I still consider Equinox a relatively young and growing company, and our ESG programs have been growing along with it. This year we did publish our second annual ESG report. We also publish on our website every quarter safety, environmental, and greenhouse gas emission data. More importantly, we're also looking at ways we can continue to improve, whether it's water conservation, green power, use of dry stack tailings, and other means of reducing our GHG emissions. We are working toward having a near-term GHG reduction target, and then of course moving toward the point where we can give a goal of having net zero GHG emissions. Again, looking at our peer group, we have one of the highest levels of insider ownership of any of the companies in our group. Ross Beatty is our largest individual shareholder. He's also our chairman, and he owns about 8% of the company. All of the management team have fairly large positions for ourselves individually, and many of our employees are part of an employee share purchase plan. So very, very high insider ownership, very much aligned with our shareholders. So I'll wrap up quickly and just say we're a multi-asset, diversified gold mining company, roughly split between Canada, the U.S., Mexico, and Brazil in terms of the scale of our operations. Near term, we're going to have Santa Luz coming on into commercial operations, that technical report out on the Los Filos mine, and then of course over the next year and change, ramping Greenstone up through construction and into commercial operations. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to myself or Rylin Bailey, who's in the room, through our website or here at the conference. And I think I've got a few minutes left and can take any questions.
Can you give us any sense of timing on the Castle Mountain
Well, we submitted the permit applications in March of this year. We expect it's going to take 2 to 3 years to get that full permit. It's not very complicated what we're doing. We're not trying to expand our footprint or anything like that, really change the mine at all. It's a matter of amending our plan of operations. So being able to build bigger leach pads, stack more waste, and mine larger pits. So far, nothing controversial. It's moving along, and in a perfect world, that permit would come just as we're bringing Greenstone into commercial operations. Then we can then move down and work on that expansion at Castle Mountain.
Greg, I wonder if you could expand on that a little bit. Why does it take so long? Is it the number of agencies, or is it re-educating, or what is it about the Castle Mountain operation that requires that amount of time for permitting?
We deal primarily with the BLM and with San Bernardino County, and Doug, I couldn't tell you why it takes that long. I know they are constrained in terms of their resources. We are working with the regulators to ensure that they have access, even if it's to outside engineering firms, basically ensuring they have the resources they need to get what they need to get done. It's uncertain.
Okay.
So we kind of, working with our permitting guys, how long will it take?
So it's not a matter of changing state regulations or federal regulations?
No, nothing like that. It's very vanilla permitting.
Okay.
But that's just how long it takes.
Right. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about Los Filos. What are some of the issues that the community is concerned about that is causing them to disrupt the operation? Or what can you characterize what's going on there in whatever terms you can?
Yeah, it's complex.
Yeah.
There's 3 primary communities in the region that the mine operates on. All of them have interests in the mine via social collaboration agreements or land access agreements. Most of what it comes down to that's material is jobs and contracts and opportunities for the communities. And it's, as you can imagine, they're competing with each other in a way, they're competing with the company in a way for those opportunities, and to outside contractors. Everyone wants to benefit as much as they can from this mine. Everyone agrees that the mine should be operating. This is a large-scale project with a lot of potential. The challenge is navigating all those relationships and making sure everyone feels like they're getting what they feel they deserve they should get.
And the recent, stoppage that you experienced, that's resolved, or are you in negotiations about that? You're back to operations.
We're back to operations. The blockade has been removed. The meeting we've had one meeting with the community since it went up. It was very constructive and positive. We'll be in discussions with them now, probably over the next several weeks, to really hash out everything. But
okay.
They're commercial like we are. They know the mine needs to be operating for everyone to continue benefiting from the jobs and contracts and economic contribution that it makes to the area.
Mm-hmm. Great, thanks, Greg. Any other questions? Don.
Greg, maybe you could just give us some color on the recovery issues that you're going through. What is it that's getting you at 75% recovery?
This is at Santa Luz.
Yes.
Yeah, so Santa Luz is a resident leach plant, and the ore type that goes through there has some percentage of total organic carbon, and getting the right mix of ore, with certain levels of organic carbon to grade is something that we had to kind of work through as we commissioned the plant. In some cases, if you have a lower grade and a higher level of total organic carbon, you get a lower recovery, and it reverses if it goes the other way. So it's basically managing that mix that goes into the plant to ensure that we get the optimum recovery.
So is there an element of there's more organic than expected, or is it just?
I think it's probably an element of it. The recovery is a little more sensitive to that blend, or that whatever that ratio is, than we had anticipated through testing. But we've been able to, through management of the mine plan and what's going into the plant, address that issue, not the total content of the ore itself.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks very
Great.
much.